Hi, I'm Andrew Carnegie and welcome to my channel on YouTube. Initially I'd intended for the channel to remain anonymous. I started out under the pseudonym The Poor Poet, what I felt was an accurate assessment of both my financial situation but also how I assumed my poetry would be seen by others. My famous forebear, whom I'm named after, was apparently a supporter and writer of poetry, but only found that out relatively recently. My mother's father, my beloved grandfather Charlie Brown, wrote a poem on my mother's birth certificate, an expression of love carried in so few words from a loving father far away as war grew ever more likely. I saw those words as a young child, and that fostered a love of poetry that has stayed with me ever since. However, loving poetry written by others is a huge way away from writing your own, and even further from publishing it. I've always written small amounts of poetry. I found it useful to impress love interests as a young man, but then as the stress of life became part of my daily endeavours, I wrote it to express feelings, frustrations, and often simply to rage or express something I would struggle to do in person. I'm, after all, a typically British male of a generation where expressing emotion is something simply not done, old chap. In 2014, I was raising money for Doorway, a local homeless charity which involved my sleeping rough for a night. I was a relatively recent Christian, God having found me against my belief and against my will some 2 years previously, and I was still coming to terms with the fact the constant invasion of my life he now seemed to enjoy. Essentially, God pitched up in a dream, told me to use Twitter and ensure that I did three things. Assuming that I'd had far too much cheese, I then promptly did my best to avoid this at all costs. After all, Christianity is completely nuts, isn't it? To cut to the quick, I gave in a few days later and accepted that I was potentially going to be letting the world know that I was a follower of Christ and put some pretty short poems up. Very rapidly I gained a following of some 3,000 people, and today as I write this there are well over 8,000 following my account. You can believe that's due to cheese, I obviously don't, but the fact remains that this is just one of the more incredible series of coincidences that has you taking your time to listen to me today, and for that I'm genuinely grateful. So what do you want to know? You can see what I look like. I know, not pretty, but my wife says she loves me, and that's a pretty good starting point in my book. I'm intending to write a poem a day during 2017 and post that on this channel. As time allows, I will also try to post some of my older poems and give readings of poems I like, both from well-known poets and also from any that I come across that catch my eye. We live in a very strange world today, and if nothing else, giving praise to somebody else has to be a good thing to do. My poetry will cover a wide range of things because it comes from me, and I like a lot of stuff, including heavy rock music and, of course, cheese. Don't ever forget the cheese. I've served in the forces, but from my figure you'll be wise enough to know it was really, really a long time ago. I've also been involved in a small way in local and national politics. Another God-related dream had me recently hit the global headlines when I called Michael Gove out regarding the lack of planning for Brexit. I'm also an inventor running my own small company connected with healthcare and a passionate sailor. My micropoetry is gaining some recognition currently, as I was honoured to be one of the poets selected by the marketing company VCCP to give some short poems for the Nationwide Building Society's latest sponsorship of ITV documentaries. I'm intending to produce a book of poems at some point in 2017, as I've always joked that if my Twitter followers went over 10,000 I would do so. Currently it looks like people are making me eat my own words, as that day appears to be fast approaching. So please feel free to comment. Obviously not everybody will like everything. I accept that sometimes people may feel strongly, but all I do ask is that even where that is the case, we exchange views with courtesy. If you can spare the time, a quick click to follow my channel would be really appreciated. I don't currently earn any money for writing poetry nor for putting the videos up. Obviously gaining some folk like you kind enough to follow offers the possibility that one day that might change. Whatever your view on faith, thank you for your time and I hope you enjoy my work. Now go on now, just click that follow my channel button, I would.